Is it possible to confidently know whether or not a vehicle has been in an accident? We're going to answer that question right now. Welcome back, everyone. Today I am at Maaco Collision Repair and Painting in Newmarket, Ontario, where I'll be sitting down with the owner and the main auto body tech to bring you top-tier information on how to answer the question at hand. Meet Steve and Wazi. Between the two of them, they have over 50 years of experience in this area, and they're going to share their top 5 ways on how to know if a vehicle's been hit. As a quick note before we get going, I've personally seen their quality work multiple times, as they've not only painted one of my own cars, but I've also fixed up several vehicles for family and friends over the years as well, and they've always done a fantastic job. With that said, let's get to it.
Look, Mom, I'm on TV.
Steve, thank you very much. Thank you for being on camera today. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So if you want to go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Steve Celli. I'm the owner here at Maaco Newmarket. I've been in the business. My dad had a body shop, so we grew up in this. I've been in the business since I was 18. And without disclosing my age, I've been in it for over 35 years. Coupled with my brother, who again has been in this business for over 40. Plenty of experience, grew up in this business, and this is basically all I really know.
Guys,
we're Maaco Newmarket,
yeah.
We're 404 in Green Lane. If you have anything, we are OEM certified with VW, Audi, Genesis, FCA, Hyundai, Kia, Honda, Acura, and Nissan.
That's great. Well, thank you for your time. So we're gonna have you and your primary tech. How do you, can I say, what do you usually call him? Wazi?
What I call him can't be put on film. His name is Wazi.
Wazi, okay.
Yeah.
So between you and your primary tech, Wazi, you guys are going to be going over these top 5 ways, and you're saying, based on us talking a little bit in the background, your expertise is more so on the paint. So
Correct.
if you want to talk about, just speak to how you would take a look at a paint job and determine whether or not it's been repainted or it's had body work or whatever.
I'm going to reference something that we already looked at.
Yeah.
Again, when I look at a vehicle, the very first thing I do is walk around and look for blemishes in the paint finish.
Okay.
I go again without being too technical. There's depth of image. Okay, and what that basically means is if you're walking around the car and you see that, let's just say you were looking at a reflection on your watch as you're going by.
Yeah.
And it's all the same, and then all of a sudden on one panel, that image is not the same clarity, it doesn't have the same thing.
Right.
There's your warning sign.
Okay.
So take a look at that panel and you'll see, like we showed on the Jag, there's certain things to look for in the paint finish.
Yeah.
If there's dirt in the paint, if the texture isn't the same, meaning too much orange peel. Conversely, there could be not enough orange peel. So what you're looking for basically when it comes to paint is symmetry.
Right, okay.
Okay, so things have to look the same around it. If there's a panel that doesn't look the same as the rest of the vehicle, odds are it's been painted. As I had mentioned to you earlier, there is an option for people who want to get serious about it with buying a paint mill thickness.
Yeah, if you want to go over the OEM thickness versus
So factory finishes are usually between 4 and 7 mils of paint. Okay. If something's been just simply repainted or clear coated over, within double you should be okay. So if you're hitting around the 8 to 10 mil, that means it's been painted, but there's nothing severe underneath it as far as material goes. When you start going to certain panels and they're showing 50, 60 mils, well, there's a lot of material build, which would probably be body filler.
Okay.
Which maybe, again, you might want to wonder why it was
well, you asked the question
got that
why.
much. And as I had mentioned to you earlier too, just because a panel has been painted does not necessarily mean avoid that car.
Yeah.
Now, is it done properly? Well, you're going to look for signs of overspray. Okay, and what that means is around moldings and everything, if you can see any sort of paint ledge or if there's paint color on a black molding that shouldn't be there, that to me, that's an improper repair, which may cause you problems later on down the road. When you're looking for something that's been painted, it's to make you alert. So what I'm trying to get across at is if you see a difference in the paintwork or if you can tell a panel's been painted, try to find out why.
Perfect, okay. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that's great. Amazing information.
Thank you for doing this.
And
I appreciate it. Great guy, by the way.
Okay, so Wazi, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. So if you want to go ahead, introduce yourself, how long you've been doing this, and what it is that you do.
Okay, I'm Wazi, as you know that. Everybody calls me that.
Yeah.
I have been here for, I believe I want to say 17 years I've been here. Going on 17 years.
Yeah. So you've been here since the very beginning, right?
Before the very beginning. Between me and Steve, we both put our heads together. We want to achieve something. We want to get further than the average body shop. And we are where we are today because, you know, we both saw what's going with the industry, how things are moving, how cars are changing and stuff like that. So we want to be part of that change.
Okay.
Regardless if it's just a bumper repair or if it's an actual structural repair, that vehicle leaves top tier here.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. And so if you were to go look at a used car, we've already covered paint with Steve, and after we've determined that paint is one of the biggest factors to figure out if something's been hit, how would you go about figuring out how bad it was, kind of thing, like in terms of potentially what's been hit? Because a lot of times people, unfortunately, like they pull the wall over people's eyes like that. It was just cosmetic. You know, there was nothing structural done or whatever. We literally just replaced the bumper cover and that was it. After paint, what would be the first thing you do?
So if I saw that, for example, a whole side of a vehicle is painted, and you're at the dealership, first thing you do is you ask for a car proof.
Okay.
The CarFax.
Okay.
Okay? That way there, you're gonna be able to determine the severity of something.
Right. And then you have a list of everything that's been replaced.
So if you got now you're looking at the vehicle, and a lot of body shops do really good work. Okay? So it is really hard to say. So that's why this having the car proof is,
that's going to be your first thing.
It's just to keep yourself safe.
A lot of times, unfortunately, there aren't CarFaxes, right? In a case where you didn't have that, then what would you do?
Cosmetically now, like I said, that a door can be, it is a structural part of a vehicle, but doors typically get replaced on a daily basis. Okay? A lot of people, we don't do this, but a lot of shops will get involved with replacing door skins.
Door skin?
Door skins. It's the outer skin of the door panel.
Okay.
So that's where Steve was talking about with the seam sealer portion, because when you're replacing a door skin, you have to go around and you gotta put tape around there and you gotta manually put the seam sealer around.
Yeah.
Okay? Whether it's pneumatic or whether it's with a regular caulking gun.
Yeah, okay.
You will never ever be able to duplicate the factory seal.
Right.
And when you have a skin replacement, now it's kind of like, why was the skin replaced compared to the whole door? Typically when a skin is so damaged, the whole door shell should be replaced, because then you have the inner structure of the door. You have a rebar that's inside that door. If that's bent, it has to be, the whole door has to be replaced. But you know, some people want to just do a quick fix and they want to keep costs down, so that's something really to consider. Another thing with looking at doors is listening for the sound.
Okay.
So sometimes when you can tell a door skin's been replaced, they didn't put proper sound deadening inside there. So when you go and open and close that door, let's say a driver's door, for example, you go and open and close that door, it sounds very tin canny.
You're right.
Whereas you go on the other side now, when you listen for that sound, if it sounds sturdy, that's a telltale sign that something's been done.
Okay. And then what about actually just how the door opens and closes and shuts? Like, is it gonna potentially feel any different or sound any different, or apart from that, it's gonna be how it closes? Is that gonna be how the biggest tell is when it closes, or is there gonna be anything else?
What I typically do, I'll open the door and I won't release the handle. I'll keep that handle open and I will close the door to try and catch that latch. To see if maybe the door might be too low, if it's too high, if it's not latching there properly. For one, it could be that there's something wrong with the door, or two, it could be that there's something structurally wrong with the pillar.
Okay. Oh wow. I know one of the things you mentioned was pinch welds. Yeah. So what would you look at? So
a lot of vehicles nowadays, they have rocker moldings. Okay. So in order to get to the pinch weld, you have to remove the rocker molding.
So you pull the, like you're talking about the rocker covers.
Look on the both sides of the vehicles, you know, left and right side, more towards the front wheel and more towards the rear wheel. That's where you would hook up the anchoring point to pull a vehicle.
Okay.
So obviously it's like teeth that bite down into that metal to avoid the car from moving when you're pulling the car.
Right.
It's to anchor the car down.
Okay.
So when whoever's done doing the repair, you know, you have to take that car off of the frame rack, so you have to unhook all the pinch weld clamps and everything like that. So you're gonna be leaving teeth marks.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of shops don't get into refinishing that area there. So right away you can tell that if this car was set up onto a frame rack, it was in a severe hit.
That's fantastic, man. Thank you very much. Hey, I really appreciate it. At this point, you might be wondering, what about checking for uneven panel gaps on the body? Well, here's what Steve had to say about that.
I think it's really important to mention that gaps aren't the be all and end all.
Yeah.
Brand new vehicles don't have perfect body lines.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something that's got perfect body lines, or if you're going to use that to be the determining factor, there's a gap and then something that's improper.
Yeah.
Right. Again, there's limitations to it. We get brand new vehicles that come up to us from the dealership, or we got to do door adjustments on it because the doors don't open and close.
Yeah.
It's mass production.
Yeah. That's wild.
It is what it is.
That's not something you'd ever think. It's not as big of a tell.
It's an alert. It's not exact. That's exactly it. It's not as big of a tell as of what people might think it is.
Right.
We get it a lot being in the repair facility where, if you look at Audi A4s, for instance, the front bumper on not the current style, but the style before, from factory, the front bumper sat inside the hood on the right side about a ½ inch. Wow. Every single A4 was like that. Wow. But if we fixed the bumper for a car or for a customer and gave it back to them, they always complained that we didn't line up the bumper properly. Wow. Luckily, at the time, I had my own A4 that I'd put out front, and I'd say, "Come here, I'll show you." And you go there, and then you can go to the dealer and look at every single A4 of that body style. They were all in.
Yeah.
So as I say, sometimes gaps aren't always the indicator.
Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. I wanted to give a huge thank you to Steve and Wazi over at Maaco for providing us with such fantastic information today. Please let me know in the comments if you'd like for me to discuss other topics relating to paint or bodywork, as these guys are experienced professionals and more than happy to share. Thank you all again so much, and I'll see you soon.